I'm Jack Cavavit, your host. For the first half of the evening, the voice of the Seminoles, Jeff Colhane, will take us home with men's head coach Leonard Hamilton. But for right now, I am joined. Let's get a warm round of applause and welcome to our women's basketball head coach, Brooke Wyckoff.
Hey, Jack.
How are you doing, Coach?
I'm great.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling really, really good.
Awesome.
Really good. Yes. Glad to be here.
And you got to be feeling good after a win yesterday. Before we break down a little bit of that game, I want to ask you about your team. You played 5 games in 11 days after you started off ACC play. Then you got a week break. You got a couple days to practice and rest up. How did that feel?
It was great to get that break. The girls were in finals, so they didn't get as much of a break, but physically they did. And so it was great. Yeah, like you said, we played a lot of games in a short period of time. They did great. We traveled during that time. And so the week off for them to focus on their studies and to get some physical rest was really, really good. And we came out and played great last night, so I was pleased.
You played great indeed. 101-51 win over Drexel. That's the 4th time this season Brooke Wyckoff's team has scored over 100 points in a game. And that leads us to our first segment here of Inside Seminole Basketball, the truest hero of the game. And look no further than Taniyah Latson. Her 3rd straight 30-point game, 32 points, 7 assists, 4 steals to go with it. I mean, Coach, what can you say about your junior guard's performance, not just that game, but this season?
Yeah, she has been phenomenal. She is laser focused on doing her very best to help our team win, and that's what I love about Taniyah. I always say it. She wants to win, and she's willing to do whatever it takes. And she's grown this year. Not only is she scoring a ton of points, she's getting rebounds, she's getting assists, has had her first double-double and triple-double. You just can't say enough about how she's performing right now.
Oh, absolutely. Just saw some of the highlights from the game from Taniyah. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering and care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Our truest hero of the game, Taniyah Latson. I mean, boy, what an incredible performance. And you got to go on with the stats. Not only the nation's leading scorer, she's also the only player in the country to score 20-plus points in every game, and now the first player in the country to score 300 total points. So pretty incredible for Taniyah Latson. And Coach, talking about this game versus Drexel, you told me before this is a team that is very methodical. They like to run in the half court a lot of sets. And you said you have to dictate the game. You have to create more possessions. What did you like about how your team executed a game plan yesterday?
I loved how they executed the game plan. We had talked as well about just putting together a more complete game, coming out from start to finish with that intensity on the defensive end. And we did just that. They really set the tone early and didn't look back the rest of the game.
Yeah, 51 points. Drexel score. That's the least amount that y'all have allowed this season. So absolutely executing the game plan to the maximum. Another thing too, Coach, when you look through the box score, 9 different players scored a field goal. What is it like being able to get that, getting some different things from different players at all times?
That's huge, and that's one thing that we wanted to improve on this season was to be more deep, to be able to have more contributors around our main scorers. And so last night was a perfect example of that and what every player can bring. Every player that was there played significant minutes, contributed in other ways, not just in scoring. So really proud of the team effort last night.
Yeah, and this team came out in the first quarter and scored 32 points.
Yeah.
You had 8 out of 12 games with a 30-point quarter this year. What is that like, being able to have an offensive explosion in just 10 minutes?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's fun to watch, fun to see the girls just being confident. And that's what I love, that they're confident. They know exactly who we want to be on the offensive end. They know what their job is, and they go out and do it so well, and they do it together.
Yeah, and some other performances from that game I want to highlight. Snoop Turnage, back into the starting lineup right now. She was in that role a lot last year. She tied her career high in 3-pointers made. We see so many different things that Snoop does out on the floor. But what did you like from her performance yesterday?
I loved how she started the game, and I believe it was the first or second possession. She came in for a monster defensive rebound. And when she does that and when our players do that, that sets the tone for how we want to play. And then that leads into the offense. And she shot with confidence, made 3 threes. And when she's doing that, we're pretty unstoppable.
Yeah, unstoppable indeed. Another player, too, is Michaela Timpson, her 37th career double-double. It feels like it's just a staple now with KK. She's just stacking up the stat sheet, double-doubles galore. She's now 4 off tying Natasha Howard's record a program record. I mean, how incredible is it to see her growth through her career here in Tallahassee?
It's been amazing. KK has been nothing short of phenomenal, and again, just an example of growth every single year, like you said. And she still has so much more she can do. There's so much potential there, but she is a staple. Just an automatic double-double almost. We kind of take it for granted, which we shouldn't. But just really proud of her and excited to see what else she does.
Yeah, and what else she could do. The WNBA next year, potentially, of course, for KK. Is there another point of her game that you've seen a lot of growth in specifically with KK?
Yeah, honestly, as good of a rebounder she is a phenomenal offensive rebounder. She has grown on the defensive side of the ball. Just being able to be that finisher of our defensive plays, just getting more defensive rebounds than she has. Her turnovers have gone down. Her assists have gone up. All those things that you just want to see those other columns in the stat sheet fill up. She's done a great job with that.
Yeah, and last one for this segment, Coach. You mentioned the turnovers. This team's been so good over the course of your time here at taking care of the basketball. One of the best in the country. They're top 10. You're only averaging about 11, just under 11 turnovers per game. How great is that as a head coach to know your team's taking care of the ball?
It's so nice, and it just shows that we are very clear on who we want to be, and the players are bought into that. They're confident in that, and so it just makes, again, the game more fun. Low turnovers, high scoring. What could be better?
What could be better, right? You got to love it. Hey, Inside Seminole Basketball is brought to you in part by ABC 27. Get free local news and weather 24/7. Just search WTXL on your favorite streaming device and watch local news and weather on your time. So that's segment one done. On the other side, we'll talk a little bit more about Brooke Wyckoff's team. Thank you for joining us again tonight. This is Inside Seminole Basketball. Welcome back into Inside Seminole Basketball. I'm Jack Kavovit, joined alongside our head coach, Brooke Wyckoff, and a great conversation in our first segment. Want to stick with a lot of players on your team, and one that's really stuck out to me this season is transfer Sydney Bowles. She has been fantastic. She's an energy, really does it all as a shooter off the bench. She's leading this team in three-pointers attempted, three-pointers made, and so many other statistics. How important has she been as an addition to this team to potentially make a deeper push later on in the season?
She's been huge. Again, she is something that not only do we want to add depth just talent-wise and shooting ability, but her length, her size, to be able to be a versatile defender. And she's an experienced basketball player at this level. She played at Texas A&M for 2 years, and that experience at the Power 4 level is so crucial.
Yeah, and she plays a lot of valuable minutes for this team too, but will come off the bench. Can you speak about, as a former player yourself, what that is like from a player's mentality, coming off the bench, being able to see the game a little bit and then get out there?
Yeah, I think she's embraced that role so well, and that's what I love. She comes in as a spark, just comes in with a lot of confidence and really is able to pick us up on the defensive end and be a force. And so that's what, she's embraced that role. She's ready for it, obviously, and impacts the game so well.
Yeah, another player that's really impacted the game with her energy and just performance is Avery Treadwell, too. I think one of my favorite moments from the season this year was against SMU. Avery came into that game with 3 total blocks. Well, she had 3 blocks in a 6-second span, and the entire team got around her, and you could tell from that moment that the energy really started picking up and the team was feeding off of it. Tell me about Avery's game and just from an energy standpoint, what she does for this team.
That's what she does. She brings the energy, and obviously during the games, whether she's in, and we all see the energy when she's in the games, which is phenomenal, but she's one of our loudest people when she's on the bench, and then every day in practice. I mean, that's what a lot of fans don't get a chance to see, is that every single day Avery comes to practice with a great attitude, a smile on her face, ready to encourage her teammates and give everything she has.
Yeah, and you look at this team, Coach, this year you guys have brought together one of the word that you use a lot with this team. How would you describe your team's identity and maybe why that's been important for you this season?
Yeah, one has a lot of different meanings for us, but most importantly is that we are one. It is about the team, and that's what I've been most proud about this year, is that we have a team that's cohesive, that is playing for each other, that supports each other, and are as unselfish as you can get. And so that's a recipe just for a lot of success, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of success indeed. And, speaking of success as well, you had a lot of success as a former player here at Florida State, also etching your name in the record books as well in many capacities. And then you look at what your team has done this year. You've challenged or set 17 different single-game program records this season. You're talking about points in a game, threes in a game, both Tanaya and KK and what they've done scoring, with Carla making threes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over the place. From a coach's perspective, how special is it to see that from your team?
It's so fun. Being a former record holder or seeing them get broken as a coach is amazing. That's what you want. You want players that are going to come in and make an impact and leave a legacy. And so I've loved it. I'm cheering them on all the way. And there's still so much time left for them to continue. Yeah,
and how about some of your records getting broken by KK Timpson, talking about blocks, doubles, and rebounds, all of it.
Love it. And she wears number 21. So that was my number. And so she's doing the number proud.
No doubt about that. Talking about a couple other players, too, here, Coach, is Mariana Valenzuela, who's just returned this season. So great to have her back. And Carla Villegas, what they both can do shooting the ball, right?
Yep.
Obviously, it's the game of basketball. Sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're cold. But when both of those players are on and they're making shots, how special is that to have on your team?
Oh, it's amazing when the ball's going in. Of course, we all love that. But even when the ball's not, just the fact that they're a threat, and the defense has to think about them. Even when they're not shooting it, the defense has to think about them. And that creates more space for our people like Tanaya Latson, KK Timpson, Omaria Gordon, all of the shooters that surround that are on the three-point line create that space. So it is so nice to have those elite shooters. And when the ball goes in, even better.
Yeah, even better. Absolutely. And you look across your entire team, so many different statistics are ranked in the top 25, top 10, top 5 even. And one that we'll talk about a little bit more in our next segment, but I wanted to highlight here is how your team shoots free throws. You're one of the best in the country right now, 6th currently in the nation in free throw percentage at 81%. And as games get closer and it's coming down to the line at the end of the game, it's got to feel pretty good knowing your team's got a good chance of putting those in.
Yeah, I'm so proud of their poise on the free throw line. And Tanaya, KKO, everybody that gets there, they just step up and they're confident. I always think it's going in when they're there. And we also do a great job of rebounding on the free throw line as well. We've worked on that. They work on it hard every day in practice and are just mature and poised and know that they're confident to knock it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So one more segment coming up with head coach Brooke Wyckoff. Again, Inside Seminole Basketball is brought to you by TSV Vodka, introducing the official vodka of Florida State Athletics, SV Vodka. Crafted for a smooth taste, SV Vodka is 100% vegan, perfect for those who value purity in every sip. Experience the unique blend of tradition and innovation with SV Vodka, the official vodka of Florida State Athletics. So one more segment coming up. We will look ahead to Thursday's matchup versus Jacksonville and so much more to come tonight. Stick with us here on Inside Seminole Basketball. Hey, we're here inside Glory Days Grill for Inside Seminole Basketball. I'm Jack Kavovit, joined by head coach Brooke Wyckoff. And again, Inside Seminole Basketball is brought to you by Seminole Boosters. Did you know that FSU Athletics is self-supported and isn't funded by tax dollars? Because of this, we rely on fans to join Seminole Boosters so your teams have the best possible chance to achieve success on and off the court. Seminole Booster membership starts at $5 per month and comes with great membership benefits. Go online to SeminoleBoosters.com to learn more or join. That's SeminoleBoosters.com. So, Coach, another game coming up here on Thursday, the last one of 2024 to kind of ring in the new year. That will set us up here for our Scott and Wallace Keys to Success for your matchup versus Jacksonville. You played the Dolphins. Last year it was a 99-73 win, a 20-plus point win. Never lost to the Dolphins. What are really your keys for this one on Thursday?
Well, we have to be ready for a physical game. This is a team that has played some Power 4 teams very tight, and they did fairly well last year, even though despite the 20-point loss, they played well last year here, and I think we'll come in with a lot of confidence. So we have to be ready for that. Yeah,
and one thing when you look at this Jacksonville team, second in the country in free throws attempted with 27. They're first in the nation with 19 free throws made. So when you're looking at this team, what type of challenges does that present, and how important is it for your team to stay disciplined and out of foul trouble?
Yeah, that'll be huge. We have to protect the paint, and that's why they get to the free throw line so much, is that they're really, really good at getting the ball into the paint, whether it be through penetration or post touches. They've got a lot of really good post players. And so we have to be aggressive. We have to be physical, but we have to do it without fouling and be disciplined.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, on Thursday, 6 p.m. at the Tuck. Don't miss it. Show out. Wear your Christmas sweaters and any other Christmas attire to the game. An ugly Christmas sweater competition to go down at halftime. I may have to support and wear a nice sweater myself. We'll see what I got in the closet. Also, Santa will be there. So how could you not show out for a great game to support the ladies at 6 p.m. at the Tucker Center, the last one of 2024. So we're going in a little bit here to the holiday season, and then that starts up ACC play. You already got one versus SMU. It's got to feel pretty good already being 1-0 in the conference.
I love it. Any win in the conference is a great win. And, yes, we were fortunate to start off with a good one against SMU at home, but got a lot of great challenges coming up.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to see from your team? We just talked about the keys to this game, but going into a break, a little bit of time off, just what you want to get out of your team to end the year and go into the conference.
Yeah, I want us to do what we did so well yesterday and just to put together as much of 4 quarters as we can of being who we want to be on both ends of the floor. And that's dictating on the defensive end, getting out and running and playing at our pace on the offensive end. If we can do that for 40 minutes or, as much of those 40 minutes as possible tomorrow or on Thursday, I'll feel good about going into the ACC season.
Yeah, and you look at this conference in the ACC, one of the best in the country, if not the best. Yeah. So many teams came in to this year ranked, and that's been shifting around. You're talking about a Notre Dame and Duke that are both top 10 right now. Georgia Tech now 11-0. They just beat UNC yesterday. That was a top 25 matchup. When you look at this conference and what it brings to the table, that just gets you kind of excited for the type of competition you're going to play.
Absolutely. I love, the competition that the women's basketball part of the ACC brings, and it's just a lot of great opportunity when you're playing such great opponents. It's opportunity to get recognition, to get experience under your belt to help us in March where we want to go deep in the tournament.
Yeah, and as we're pretty much at the halfway, still getting there to that point in the season. When you look at what this team was when you first got there in the summer and your workouts and everything leading up to the season, has been an area that you feel like your team has maybe grown the most in?
Well, I'd have to say it's our defense. And we still have a long way to go, but I've just loved how they continue to work hard every single day on it, to learn it, to get the reps, and to improve. And I see that improvement, and I'm excited about where that will lead by the end of the season.
Yeah, and I want to go back how we started off the show with our truest hero of the game with Tania Latson. As she's been having this season that she's had this year, you want to look across the entire landscape of women's college basketball, and you see the stars like a Hannah Hidalgo, Juju Watkins, those getting talked about so much. And Tania's having this season, when you look at the stats, I mean, she's right there in that conversation, and hope to get her more attention to be in that conversation.
Absolutely. She will get all the attention she needs if she continues to do what she's doing. And I love, Tania loves that. She loves a challenge. She loves to be an underdog, so to speak, and to work hard to get that recognition. That's what she's done all her career, and she'll continue to do it. I'm just excited to see her work and not be satisfied.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get to see it across, again, an incredible gauntlet of a conference. And looking at the schedule, too, going back to it, it's a couple new trips this year. Going out to California, Cal and Stanford. Cal's now in the top. They're receiving votes in the top 25. That's a good team. Stanford, obviously, again, another good team.
Yeah.
Got to feel a little bit excited, too, to go out on the West Coast for the ACC.
Very excited. Again, 2 great opponents, 2 great opportunities for us to test ourselves and to be in a different place, to go out to California and see what life is like out there for a week and just be together as a team. It'll be a great opportunity.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little while ago about the Paradise Jam, and something that you mentioned was how those games back to back to back, 3 games in 3 days, prepares you for not just the ACC but the ACC tournament.
Yes.
And just talk about that a little bit more. How the girls like that trip, but also again, if they take the same approach to it now that's gotten them ready for what's to come down the road.
Yeah, it's hard to think about. Oh man, we got to play 3 games in 3 days, even if it was in Paradise. Yeah. Okay, it was a beautiful place to play, but just their mentality. I was so proud of the mindset that they had going into it. And every single day that we were playing, and to win. And that was such an encouragement to me as a coach, and lets me know where we're at mentally and really what the long-term focus of this group is.
Yeah, long-term focus now, ACC play coming up in 2025. One more game on Thursday. But as we approach the holiday season. Coach, any plans for you as Christmas is around the corner?
Be with family.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to relax a little bit. And we have a bye right after Christmas, so that's nice. So I'm just excited that our players will get a nice time at home with their families as well and come back refreshed and ready to go.
Come back ready to go. It'll be Virginia Tech to start the new year and to get ACC play really underway. Well, Coach, thank you so much again for joining us here tonight. Another round of applause
Thanks,
for head
Jack.
coach Brooke Wyckoff. Well, an awesome time with you, as always. A lot of fun. On the other side, Jeff Colhane will join head coach Leonard Hamilton and talk more about Inside Seminole Basketball. You're listening to Seminole Basketball from Legends.
Jeff Colhane.
All right, great to be back here at Glory Days in Tallahassee. Welcome back in another edition of Inside Seminole Basketball. Hey, a big round of applause again for the head women's coach, Brooke Wyckoff, everybody, huh? How much fun. What a start to the year once again. So exciting to watch. And let's bring in now to the program for our second half hour of the show tonight, a member of 7 Hall of Fames, the all-time winningest coach in Florida State basketball history. Give it up for Leonard Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen. You ready? Another year of these? I know you're excited about all this, right?
Well, I got to find my microphone
There you go.
first so I can talk.
There you go.
What they say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get
That's
ready.
exactly right. It's exactly right. It is great to see you. Thanks so much for your time coming out here tonight. And we just came off one heck of performance in Sunrise on Saturday afternoon, didn't we?
Well, we came from a performance.
Yes.
I'm not real sure it was the greatest performance, but this time of year for us, winning games while we're growing and developing, I think is good for us. We're moving in the right direction. And we're constantly challenging our players to try to get to the level that we've been accustomed to over the years. And I love our attitude. We've had good practices this week, and I'm looking forward to our game tomorrow night, and so we can continue to keep improving.
Yep, absolutely. Florida State right now 8-3 on the year. Take a look at some of the highlights for those watching on the live stream on our YouTube channel, on the Seminoles YouTube channel from the win over Tulane. And, Jamir Watkins, coach, continues to be one of the elite players in the ACC and all of men's college basketball right now. He came out and had a big game for us with 29 points, and his ability to get to the free throw line is just off the charts right now.
Well, there's no doubt that Jamir has set the table for us. He's been doing an outstanding job with his leadership on and off the court, in the locker room, in our team meetings, and he's grown into the leader that we know he's capable of becoming. We've gotten some contributions, obviously, from Malik Ewan. He's doing an outstanding job, giving us a full presence there inside. But we've always won our games by committee. Mm-hmm. We like to get everybody involved. We're still working on that. In the past, we've always had 9 different guys throughout the year lead our team in scoring. Hopefully we'll get back to that. I think we're capable. I just think we are getting better with each game, and hopefully tomorrow night will be one of the games that we take that another step forward.
Yep, you saw the slate there a moment ago. Jamir Watkins, 29 points, 19 of 23 from the free throw line. That's the 4th most free throws made in a game by a Florida State player all time, and the most since 1956, Coach. I mean, historical what we saw from him. And you and I have talked about this. He just has that innate ability. Maybe when things are breaking down and we need a bucket or something to happen, he finds his way to the charity stripe.
Well, there's no doubt about that he's an important part to our team. Now, people, as we move forward into the ACC, people will start keying on him, which I'm hopeful will open up more opportunities for other players. Yep,
and we'll talk about your newcomers, and you've been working together as we all have gotten to know your basketball team. I know you are still – these guys are learning each other a little bit right now with 10 newcomers on this roster, and you were able to go out on Saturday with 3 guys that had not started for you before, and Daquan Davis, Justin Thomas, and Jerry Dang, and those guys really stepped up for you in a big way, it felt like.
They're all first-year guys.
Yes, they are.
And one time we looked up and we had 4 freshmen and Waka on the court, and he's like a freshman.
He's basically a freshman.
He didn't play very much, and I got a little nervous. But they played hard for us, and they maintained their own while they were in the game, and I was happy. They felt good about the progress that we're making, and we just going to continue to keep working hard. This is a fun bunch to be around. They're growing. Is this the first time that we've had this many new guys that we've tried to integrate into our system at one time? But I think we're getting better with each practice, with each game. We're looking forward to continue to keep taking steps moving in the right direction. You don't have a lot of do-overs when you get to the ACC conference. Yeah. So right now we want to make sure that we're at our best come next Saturday. Okay?
Yes, no question about that. With Louisville coming to town here this upcoming weekend inside the Tucker Center, your program is based so much, obviously, on the defensive end as well, deflections, getting out and getting after people. You held Tulane to just 34% from the field, Coach, and only 3 of 22 for the Green Wave behind the three-point line on Saturday. Those are numbers that you'd love to see on the other side for the rest of this year, I would imagine.
I think I'm like most coaches. Sometimes I overlook the good things we do because I'm always concentrating on those things we need to get better at.
Yeah.
But we did have a good defensive effort. There's no doubt about that. Now, the areas that we're most concerned with, obviously, is rebounding. Yeah. And we're playing a team tomorrow night that leads the nation in free throws attempt. My goodness. I mean, which means that we can cut those down, maybe let's say 12, 13, 14 points, and we take care of the ball and do a much better job rebounding, then I'll feel a lot better, and I can point out some of the good things that we're doing in the game.
I'll feel a lot better too, because that game, it'll be right near that 2-hour window, and I won't need an extra snack after 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Coach.
Well,
so
you're not saying you have to eat during the game, do you?
Well, look at me. I got plenty of room. I need plenty of snacks out here. As we're just getting rolling here on a Monday night inside Seminole Basketball live from Glory Days here in Tallahassee, and our program brought to you in part by Truist. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Coming up next, we'll talk with Coach about the 10 newcomers on his roster this year and how those guys have made a dent already into the opposition. That and more on the way. We're back after this timeout, live from Glory Days in Tallahassee. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to Glory Days in Tallahassee. Great crowd on hand. Happy holidays, everybody. We got some Santa hats out here in the crowd. There you go, Linda. She's got the Santa hat on, ready to go. That's sangria number 1, I believe, for Linda here tonight. Maybe headed to the naughty list by the end of this time that this show is over. As our program brought to you in part by Carver's Discount Cleaners. Mean on stains, green on earth. Try new Eco Green dry cleaning at Carver's Discount Cleaners at 1215 North Monroe Street in Midtown here in Tallahassee. And also by our friends at Garnet and Gold, proud to support FSU Athletics, locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Stop by one of their 3 stores this holiday season. We're back in with the head coach, Leonard Hamilton. I mean, 10 newcomers, that's a really easy transition from one year to the next, Coach. But you guys, you and the staff have done an amazing job ingraining these guys into Tallahassee, into the Florida State basketball family. Let's just start there. Just getting 10 new guys into town and wrapping your arms around them and making them part of the family. How would you describe that process?
Well, there's no doubt that this is the new edition of college athletics. No doubt about it. It's here to stay, and you have to find ways to adjust. Your teaching methods have to change a little bit when you're bringing in this many new players. It's the complete opposite from what we have been accustomed to. We normally have built our program from within. For instance, when Devin Vassell was a freshman, and we think we went to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, one or the other, and he was the only freshman that joined the team.
Wow.
So he had examples for him to follow, some experienced guys that kind of helped him make the transition. It's the complete opposite now. We have Chandler Jackson is the only player that's been with us 3 years, and everyone else, they're first and second year players. So it's a little more challenging to be to bring the guys along at the same pace that you've been accustomed to. It's been a little challenging, but I think at the end of the day, we look around the country, most teams are going through the same thing. And so we got to find a way to accelerate our progress a little more than some of the teams that we're competing with.
You alluded to it there at the end. Has this change that you're dealing with, has it forced you and the staff to almost change how you coach to a certain degree with so many new guys and relying on so many newcomers to play for you right away?
Well, like for instance, okay, if we're going to put in a set of out-of-bounds plays today, we normally put in 4 out-of-bounds plays, and then you might do a zone set of 2, and you move on. But when you have experienced players returning, they set the example that gives the new players something to emulate. Mm-hmm. Now, you put in 4 out-of-bounds plays and you move on to the next thing, and I'm not real sure they really know the 4 out-of-bounds plays. So instead of trying to maybe progress at the same rate, we have to make sure before we leave one issue, one thing that we're teaching, make sure we're thorough before we move on to something else, because the retention is not nearly as consistent as it has been when you have experienced players coming back, things of that nature. But that's the adjustment that we all are making. As I talk to my colleagues around the country, we all say the same thing. We all complain about the same thing. We have complaint parties when we talk on the phone.
You guys, when somebody's calling you, you're going to get about 5-10 minutes of back and forth on some of those items. One of the newcomers that you bring in, Coach, that is a fun player to watch right now is 6'11" big man Malik Ewan. I mean, he has been just one of the more versatile players in college basketball this year. And I know a guy that you're really excited. You haven't even scratched the surface with what he's capable of, and he scored for you 8 games in a row in double figures and put some big numbers up, both scoring it and also rebounding it.
He has a different skill set than most centers, because he really can bring the ball down the court. He makes great decisions with the ball. He has an instinctive decision-making skill where he can find open guys. He's a great passer. He makes great decisions, and he's talented himself. Mm-hmm. We normally have been accustomed to having big guys that catch lobs and slots and make layups, but he's capable of creating not only offense for himself but for his teammates. And we're still coming up with ways how to utilize a guy with those different kind of skills. Yeah. So we're very pleased with the progress he's making. He's improving every day. His rebounding has gotten better. He's a capable shot blocker. And he's fun to coach, and he's fun to play with, as my players tell me.
You mentioned his passing. He made a pass in Sunrise where he was on the block and made a no-look behind-the-back pass to Justin Thomas in the corner. I don't know if you wanted him to do that, but it looked pretty good when he did it, Coach.
It might have been fun for the fans, but there's absolutely no way I'm going to be excited about if that ball goes out of bounds.
That's right.
Yeah. I think let's just be solid and fundamental. And I think I'd appreciate that a little more.
I would enjoy being a fly on the wall with that conversation if it did go out of bounds.
It's one of those things you say, "Oh no, way to go!" You upset when it happens, but then when it turns out all right, you just say, "Way to go!"
There you go. That's exactly right. Malik Ewan in his last 8 games, 14.6 points per game, 67% from the field, double figures in 8 straight. And rebounding right around 9 rebounds a game. He is a fun newcomer to watch at 6'11", the junior out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Just getting started with the head coach Leonard Hamilton as the Noles got a big week. Game Tuesday at home against Winthrop in the Tucker Center, and the ACC home lid lifter Saturday at 2 o'clock against the Louisville Cardinals. We've got more to come on the way. Stay with us. Having some fun here at Glory Days in Tallahassee. We're back after this timeout. All right, great to be back on Monday night, our first edition of Inside Seminole Basketball, live from Glory Days in Tallahassee. Always fun talking with the head man, Leonard Hamilton, as the Noles getting ready for a busy week at home inside the Tucker Center. Both the FSU men, and as we heard earlier with Brooke Wyckoff, the FSU women in action on Thursday. Time now for What's on Tap, brought to you by the official craft beer of Florida State Athletics, Oyster City Brewing Company. Stop by their tap room on Gain Street and pick up Legacy Lager, the officially branded craft beer of the Noles. All right, we'll start Thursday, of course. Talk with Coach Wyckoff, Coach Brooke. Thursday, the Florida State women taking on Jacksonville. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Santa's there, by the way, on Thursday night. All right, so Santa's going to be in the house Thursday. I don't know, naughty or nice list, Coach. I don't want to know what that's all about. Tickets start at only $6. And then Saturday, at our game Saturday as well, with Florida State and Louisville on the men's side, the ACC home lid lifter, Cimarron. It's a Santa Cimarron appearance Saturday. Kids Club members have a promo code that was emailed to them, to claim their complimentary tickets, a free Kids Cup giveaway for the first 150 fans that stop by the Kids Zone, and tickets start at only $10.
Jeff, you think if you see Brooke, ask her, can she let me have some of those points that team is scoring? I might need
Coach.
If she can just give me
Like 119 of them?
Yeah, I'll just take 10.
10?
Okay, she can. I like to have those wrapped up in a nice gift for Christmas with a bow on top of it. 10 of those extra points.
We're right in kind of that mid-70s range is where we're at right now. 10 more would be good.
I would be very appreciative.
Yeah.
You think Santa Claus can fix that up for me?
We got to check Thursday. He's there. Santa's there Thursday, Coach.
Can you have a conversation with him?
I'll talk. You know me. I got you. I'll talk to him.
Appreciate
I'll
that.
take care of you on that one. You better believe it. As that's what's on tap this week. Brought to you by the official craft beer of Florida State Athletics, Oyster City Brewing Company. All right, you talked about the newcomers. We talked about some of your veteran guys obviously coming back and now getting ready here for a week ahead where you got 2 home games, and these are big games. I know they're very important to you and to your team. Classes are out. You guys finished up finals in excellent fashion, and now we're just hooping right now. Get to focus on getting better.
Well, we're challenging our players. We went on a stretch of 6 years where we only lost 4 games at home.
Yeah.
And during that period, we were locked in, but we had experienced players coming back every year. Now we're challenging this edition of FSU men's basketball to understand the legacy that guys have left that left for them to compete with, and we have to get that spirit back, that culture back, where we're making it very difficult for people when they come in to play again in the tuck. So we want to start like tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We want to start getting that attitude back, that tenacity, the ability to sustain that effort for longer periods of time and get back to winning those games by committee, by keeping guys fresh. But we're not quite as experienced that when I looked at the other night and I had 4 freshmen out there on the floor.
You even looked at me and said, 4 freshmen. And you had a look on your face I hadn't seen from you in quite a while.
Well, it was a little scary.
Yeah.
But that's part of who we are. But I like this team, and I think as we continue to improve, you're going to see those freshmen start playing like experienced players, hopefully real soon.
Yeah, one of those guys, I tell you, Daquan Davis,
Yes.
who's out of Baltimore, overtime elite in Atlanta. This is a true freshman coach that has zero fear whatsoever. He made his first start on Saturday against Tulane, and he backed it up with a career high in assists, had a career high in rebounds. I mean, this guy's not backing down from anybody at all.
Well, he only has one gear, and that's 100 miles an hour. He doesn't slow down. He gives tremendous effort. He has a competitive instinct that does not allow him not to go as hard as he can on every possession. That's what you try to do when you're developing youngsters, especially freshmen. You want them to learn how to give all their effort on every possession. He possessed that. He comes in with that mental toughness that really is contagious, and he sets the table, the example. I mean, he goes and gets rebounds and steals, and he might be one of our better shot blockers
As a guard. And when the ball's on the floor, he's going to get on there. He turns into a junkyard dog, Coach. He ain't backing down.
Well, there's no doubt that he's a tremendous addition to our team. And I think as he learns more and more how to play at this level, you're going to see him get better and better and make bigger contributions as we go through the year.
One final timeout, and coming up, we'll wrap up our program. Having fun here with everybody. We appreciate everybody coming out on Monday night for our first edition of Inside Seminole Basketball. One more timeout. We'll get Coach's final thoughts on the matchup Tuesday and Saturday this week here at the Tuckett Center. Back at home after this break. All right, back one final time here at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Having some fun in our first edition of the program on Monday night. Excellent crowd. We appreciate everybody coming out and talking all things Florida State hoops with us here this evening. As Florida State Athletics, we'd like to thank Grassroots Coffee for their support of Florida State basketball. Order from Grassroots Coffee for your home or business today at grassrootscoffee.com or find it at a store, restaurant, or coffee shop near you. Grassroots Coffee, made for everyone, loved everywhere. And, of course, live here at Glory Days, the host location of Inside Seminole Basketball. Stop by Monday nights during the hoop season, 7 to 8 p.m., for an all-star selection of food, drinks, and to hear from Florida State basketball players and staff. Our next show will be after the new year on January the 6th. unless you wanted to come back and hang here next Monday night and talk hoops.
Hey, I'm coachable.
There we go. All right.
Whatever you ask me to do.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it going.
I've been trained.
You've got a few of these for sure in your Hall of Fame career. All right, so we're getting ready. I know you want to really lock this group in for Tuesday night because this Winthrop team, Coach, it's a veteran group. We talked earlier. They're a feisty group, and they're going to play really hard coming in here.
Well, Jeff, we just blew them out by about 6
Yes,
points
right.
last year, I think. We just blew them right out the gym. We dominated them.
Yeah.
I think we won by, 6 or 7?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, so we have a lot of reason to be real confident, right?
Right.
No, we need to be on point. This is a good team. I watched the Virginia Tech Winthrop game the other night, boy, and it was it was a tug of war right down to the end of the game. I watched the Louisville game, and they played very well against Louisville. So we know this is a team that we have to respect, but we need these types of challenges this time of year. And the better teams we play, the more prepared we will be for the ACC regular season.
Yep. Give me a few items of messaging to your team, preparing and getting ready.
Well, anytime you're playing against a team that's the leading free throw shooting team in the country, then we don't need to put them on the foul line.
Yeah.
That's part of their game. They have a tremendous fast break. They really push the ball, so we need to eliminate that from being a major part of their game as well. Obviously, they've done a tremendous job last year. They did with us by boxing us up with how they play their defense. We just got to move the ball, execute a little better, and we need to make a significant improvement. We need to show significant improvement on the rebound in front.
Yep. Physical group, describe them that way.
Not as physical as they are aggressive.
Yeah.
And they really, really drive hard to get downhill. They challenge you all the time. So it's a good game for us. We just need to make sure at the end of the game we need to be up at least by half a point.
I'll take a half point as well. Coach, it's always great seeing you. Thanks so much for your time and coming out. We can't wait for tomorrow night.
Well, I think we're excited. We're excited for the game on tomorrow night, but we're also excited about the upcoming ACC.
That's right. There you go. Please give it up for the head coach, Leonard Hamilton, everyone. Winthrop Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Louisville Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll do it for us. Our first edition of Inside Seminole Basketball, live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Big thanks to Brooke Wyckoff, also to Jack Cavavit. My name is Jeff Culhane. We'll talk to you after the new year, live from Glory Days. Have a great day, and go Noles!